The people, the headlines, the issues impacting you and your family. This week in Cincinnati on 9 on Your Side.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Kristen Hartman. Welcome to This Week in Cincinnati. First today, a new program to fight the opioid crisis. This one helps people who are in jail, specifically the Kenton County Detention Center. The Core 12 program is a joint effort of the county, the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, and Aetna Better Health of Kentucky. The goal is to help prisoners turn their lives around so they do not start using drugs again after they leave jail. Joining us is the spokesman for the Kenton County Jail, Jason Merrick, and we want to thank you for joining us for This Week in Cincinnati.
Thank you, Kristen.
This kind of makes sense because when you consider the jail population and the number of people who come in with drug addiction, drug charges, meet them where they're at? Is that what this is about?
Exactly. Yeah, we really hope to, first and foremost, eliminate the heroin crisis in northern Kentucky and beyond. We feel that this is a level of care that is warranted by the ongoing crisis that our counties and our cities and our states are experiencing in the United States right now.
Would you mind putting it in perspective for us about how many of your detainees have drug dependency issues, particularly opioid issues?
So we're pretty consistent with the nation in that 80 to 85% of our clientele are somewhat opioid dependent, specific to substance use disorders.
Wow, that's staggering.
It is.
Instead of being punitive about it, it's let's help this person?
Exactly, and we've always been the default mental health and substance use treatment provider. In fact, jails and prisons are the largest provider in Kentucky and in Ohio and every state that you'll come across in the nation. Okay,
so how does somebody become enrolled in this program? And actually, I'm going to backtrack. How much space do you have in this program?
Sure. So we are licensed to treat 125 individuals at any given time. We're licensed by the state of Kentucky as an alcohol and other drug entity, a residential treatment program. In order to become a participant in this particular level of care, you would identify as opioid dependent upon taking into custody. You would then be assessed for the acute withdrawal symptoms, and then the courts would be contacted to streamline the process, streamline the induction into our jail substance abuse program.
When you talk about streamlining the process, what do you mean by that?
I mean within 24 hours, you're induced onto stabilizing medications and you're incorporated into a therapeutic community model within the jail that engages you in residential treatment.
Okay, that was my next question. How does this compare to what one might consider traditional rehab?
Sure. So you've got several models of care, and all of them involve some sort of a biopsychosocial approach. Now, biologically, we want to treat the body, the brain, and recognizing this as a chronic, progressive, potentially fatal brain disorder. We want to give those synapses in the body and the brain time to heal. We also want to address this from a psychological component part as well. We want to see that people, their self-esteem, their habits are changed, they're able to become productive members of society and be able to interact socially as well, which brings me to the social side of things. We want people to be employable, we want people to maintain healthy family relations, and so bringing all of this together and then adding what evidence and science has brought to the table recently is that we can address opioid use disorder specifically with medications that act to engage them for longer periods of time.
So are we talking like Suboxone?
We are talking about buprenorphine, which Suboxone being the brand name of a medication that's known as buprenorphine. Blockers known as Vivitrol or long-acting naltrexone. And there's new formulations of these medications that are available in long-acting injectable forms and implants that serve to prevent diversion, which is one of the main arguments against Suboxone or buprenorphine use is that it's diverted, it's injected or it's sold or it's traded. These implants and injections can be administered once per month or once every 6 months to prevent that diversionary risk.
So how will this physically look? Are detainees or inmates going to be in cells, or are they going to be in an area that is bound to drug treatment?
Now, we are very fortunate at Kenton County Detention Center that Mr. Terry Carl, our jailer, who had the insight to implement programs like this, and the engineers and the development, the county administration, when they built the detention center itself, they provided space for programming. And our jail isn't set up like other jails. We're a direct observation facility, so there's dorms, dorm-style living, where there's 70 men or 70 women all living in one dorm together. So we have 3 dorms that are dedicated just for this substance use treatment.
3 dorms.
3 dorms.
10 years ago, how many did you have?
None.
None.
Right.
That
yeah,
shows you the sign of the times.
Yes.
When it comes to the actual treatment, how long are we looking? It's not a 30-day thing, is it?
No, ma'am. It's a 90-day curriculum.
90-day.
Yes, with a 6-month aftercare.
Okay. So even if they get out of jail, they're having to come back to the facility?
No, we're working with Life Learning Center out of Covington for the aftercare curriculums, and they provide job training, they provide child care, they provide the psychosocial services in the community-based care that our clients will need when they're transitioning back into home life and back into the communities.
To get back on track, last question. Has this program been used elsewhere, and if so, how successful has it been?
It's only been used in the Hazelden Treatment Center in Minnesota. So it's never been used in a correctional setting. So this is the first of its kind for Kenton County, for Kentucky, and for the nation.
Wow, cutting edge.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very proud of the work that's being done and the work that will be done.
All right. Thank you for joining us and sharing the details of that program, and we'll check back in with you for sure.
Thank you.
All right, fixing the Brent Spence Bridge. It's showing its age, what it takes to keep it safe and reduce traffic jams. That's next on This Week in Cincinnati.
The people, the headlines, the issues impacting you, all on This Week in Cincinnati on 9 on Your Side.